lick back. Get your lick back. If a nigga owe you something, ain't no chit chat. Better stay up out the way, don't get your dish splat. Stop letting this shit slide and get your lick back. And get your lick back. I feel like I'm JX.
J-Way.
I'm a perfectionist. Adderall got me restless.
I'm gone.
Run with a wild crew, they get reckless. Young boy, come up off that neck.
Give me that.
To the trends. See a lead, be the band.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of Corner to Copa. We are live from a remote location. We are here in the dungeon bringing you some trade deadline updates, live reactions in person. Yes, I really know the famous coach. So, Coach, the Tigers won the deadline, right?
I mean, if they were the only team involved in the deadline, sure they won. But as of right now, I'm pissed.
Okay. So I haven't even had an opportunity to let the last acquisition soak in, but at the buzzer, it appears we went out and got Charlie Morton. I don't even know who we traded for him, but we can figure that out. Obviously, we weren't looking to get rid of any of our top 10, top 20. I don't think we have anybody that is anywhere near ranked in the system. I know we gave up Jim Jarvis, who you probably have never heard of. I've just maybe he played a tiny bit during spring training, but yeah, I've seen everything from a player to be named later to cash considerations to some obscure pitchers that were in that Cleveland deal. But let's pull up Mr. Morton. I've had an opportunity to check everybody else out, but let's see what we got going on with Mr. Morton here. So for the viewers watching, you'll see the Savant page.
Get a bucket.
And, yeah, lot of blue. He's started in 17 games this year. He's got a 7-8 record, which is respectable, especially for a pretty bad Baltimore Orioles team. What I can say about him, he's an innings eater. You know, he started 30 games over the last 2 years. He's got 17 so far this year. So despite the fact that he's 41 years old, the guy definitely stays healthy. That much we can say. Oh God, what do I have in the background over there? Piston stuff. What is
It's from yesterday.
Hold on, we'll get it together. That's fine. So we'll put Carpenter in the background.
Part of the live stream learning curve.
Yep, all about the experience. But yeah, so you know, we got guys like we got Sawyer Gipson-Long, who should be coming back soon.
Alex Lang.
We got what's the guy that pitched the other day who pitched a gem? The guy from the Twins, Paddock.
Chris Paddock, yeah.
So Chris Paddock. We know that Chris Paddock and Morton. What's Melton?
Troy Melton, yeah.
Yeah, they pitched great this week, which is awesome. We swept the Arizona Diamondbacks, but we know that they're not going to pitch that great every time out. So Charlie Morton is probably just some insurance for us. We have Kiter Montero. We got we got Skubal, Mize, Montero, Paddock,
Morton.
You know, we have Morton now. But yeah, he's an insurance guy. Do you think that he'll probably do some long relief?
I think he, like you said, he's an innings eater. He's been very durable and healthy over his career. I think he was a last-minute add-on just because what we've been talking the last couple weeks about Alex Cobb's struggle to even get through rehab above where he's at now. So I think that's kind of what it's tied to, in addition to the fact that obviously you can say Paddock was for Olsen. They're probably sitting on Olsen's news until they can make a trade and make that announcement. But for the most part, yeah, whether it's, spot start or long relief with pitching chaos, I mean, something along those lines, but obviously not going to be counted on as a regular guy in the rotation to, give you 6 or 7 innings every outing.
Yeah, so he's 41 years old. I mean, wow, long career, but he's had some success. just 2 years ago, he was a sub-4 ERA. He was 14-12. So I'm not mad at that. The Savant page is not loving him. He's got some very low pitching value. I mean, wow, -18. So for him to be 7-8, he's got some good luck. Hopefully he can bring that, because I don't even know how you do that. One thing from looking at his page that I've seen over the last couple of years is he's a ground ball pitcher. He's a guy that is going to, keep the ball on the ground. He's done an average job of missing barrels, but he's also got some swing and miss in his stuff too. So there's some things to like about him, but most importantly, the durability. He's already pitched 100 innings so far this year. So well on pace with the last couple of seasons. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't have high expectations, but at this point, we just need bodies.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. It's real too. I'll say this: he started like 0-6, 0-7 with like a 9+ ERA. He lost his spot in the rotation, came out of the bullpen. He's been better, but I mean, it's kind of a laughing point when it goes, oh, well, his last since then his ERA's dropped from a 7.68 to a 5.42. Like, that's how high it was to start. Now, they're saying lately he's gone at least 5 innings in his last 8 starts, part of his turnaround there. But I think it's more so for his postseason numbers. His career, he's got 2 World Series, one with the Astros in 2017,
right.
bang, bang, garbage cans. Just kidding. It was one before that one.
Okay.
Although it could have been. I don't know. Time's flying. But anyways, and then he won again with the Braves in 2021. So 7-5 with a 3.6 ERA and 18 appearances, with 17 of those being starts, and 2 World Series championships. I think he's more of kind of like a guy that Hinch and Harris figure as a good mentor to the younger pitchers right now, including Job. Even though he can't physically throw, you can still ask questions. This is really what we saw at Verlander the year or two before we ended up trading him. He was a pitcher mentor, helping the younger guys in the rotation. So I think that's more so what you'll see Charlie give back to the team, more so on the field as an actual pitcher, putting together some quality outings.
Okay. So, what was I going to talk about? Yeah. So, okay. So we know that. So he played for Hinch at one point, because Hinch was there from 2015 to 2019.
Yeah, he at least just a couple years at the bare minimum.
Okay. So he's got some familiarity. And wow, he had some. Okay,
he's had some good years.
15-3, 16-6, 14-6. This dude's never been to an All-Star game.
No, like you said, he's not a power pitcher. He pitches to contact for the most part, and relies on some swing and miss / whiff opportunities there when he gets them in the right spots. But as you saw in the Savant, even his cutter, which is his lowest usage pitch, is still at 8%, which is fairly respectable. So a little less than 1 out of 10 pitches on average, he throws that. So, he's got a full complement of pitches, and he's going to use them to his advantage and figure out what will throw off the hitters the best.
So, one thing that you can, you can bet is the Tigers are not going to go out and get that big sexy name. A lot of times it does feel like they're kind of, bargain buying. But I mean, these are guys that have at least shown flashes that they can be an impact. I mean, I don't think we're asking any of these guys to come in and be the man, the star. I think they're just trying to kind of raise the floor at least. Like, these guys are not needle movers. They're not going to raise the ceiling of the ball club, but as long as they can keep us in it. I mean, I don't think we could have asked for too much more from Chris Paddack in his first start. But let's talk about, you said, I think you mentioned one of the names that we ended up getting, Rafael Montero. Yeah. So let's pull him up. This is another former Astro player. He actually played in
Just came from Atlanta.
he came from Atlanta, but he played in Houston.
Right.
He played on one of their Houston.
Him and Charlie Morton kind of following each other around a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I gathered from him is the thing that jumped out at me, of course, is the walk rate. I think that's been his biggest bugaboo, has just been the control. But as far as the, inducing chase and swing and misses, he's kind of top notch in that category. And he's also another guy that keeps the ball on the ground. So he, relies on his defense to make plays in front of him. He's just average in the K rate, a little above average in the K rate. But for him to have an ERA of 5.40, it's got to be the walks that are killing him, from what I can see. You see the expected ERA, batting average, which essentially just means that when he's not putting guys on, they're not doing much damage with what he throws. So, what are your thoughts on Montero? I'm thinking, I think that he could possibly be a high leverage guy, but more than likely, a more serviceable long relief than maybe a Chase Lee, or I think that you're a step up in that, and as far as that's concerned. What are your thoughts on Mr. Montero?
Yeah, it's long relief might be a stretch if you struggle with walks. We last year, Casey Mize had a problem with walking guys. Control wasn't there. We saw it in Jackson Jobe in limited opportunities going back to last year and this year again, with struggle with command and walking guys. He could be, if he could get his walk rate under control, but I think he might be used more of, I don't want to say true high leverage, but a setup guy, maybe seventh inning. I don't know about eighth, but somewhere in there, maybe he comes in and just gets two batters to end the inning. And because of him satisfying the end of an inning and it's not 3 outs, then Hinch can go right back to his bullpen to start the next inning and not risk him potentially then putting guys on. So his numbers are good. His chase, he just can't fall behind early. It looks like if he falls behind early, he might be cooked, and then he'll start to scramble, and then pitches become a little more predictable. But we'll see. It'll be interesting to see how Hinch utilizes him out of the pen, but I think going forward for the rest of the regular season, at least, they don't want to give the other playoff bound teams or contenders to get in the same look twice. So like you said, you might get Chase Lee in the 8th, 1 inning, and then game 2, you might get Montero in the 8th inning for the last 2 outs of inning. So they'll mix and match and use it like a chessboard more than they would be, a traditional setup, closer, and lefty specialist that we've been used to, in our last run, 10 years ago.
So yeah, when I think about our current bullpen construction with Will Vest being the closer at this current juncture, you got a Canley that's been the Canley / maybe a Tyler Holton, depending on the situation, or if you got a more lefties or more righties. But I'm kind of hoping that Montero can be a more, which is kind of crazy to think about because, like I said, his ERA is 5.40. But I'm hoping that Montero can come in and be and provide some stability there, because Canley's kind of fallen off a cliff a little bit. And even in that last game that we played, he gave up a run in that game as well. So
he's given up 2 solo home runs in his last 2 outings, even though he's had massive leads to work with.
Oh, so he gave up. So there was a home run that he gave up in
our game. Yeah, it was a line drive by lefty. Was it Alec?
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. And then Tuesday he did too. He gave up a solo homer because they were shutting him out, and there was a 1 run and they scored.
Right. So yeah, I mean, what do you have to lose at this point? I think you give Montero a shot. As you can see, I don't know what. I think Canley's overall, his ground ball rate is actually still pretty good, but
just overused too much. And he's a 2-pitch pitcher, so
right.
Yeah, it was just bound to happen at some point.
Yeah, in my head, I'm thinking like, how difficult is it if you're seeing fast, if you're looking changeup, because he throws his changeup 80% of the time.
Yeah.
So you're not even looking fastball. He's got actually a decent fastball, but
yeah.
it just and the changeup is nasty, which is just the only reason why he survived as long as he has. But I think that teams are starting to figure out how to get a hold of him, and it's probably one of the reasons the Yankees moved on from him. I mean, he was pretty good last year, but I think that they saw that at some point he was going to get figured out. So if we could utilize him less or in less high leverage situations, I think that I think that it can help us.
We do have breaking news. We have a buzzer beater trade deadline. This is not someone coming in. This is really someone going out as part of the trades in the last 2 days. Tigers have traded Matt Manning to the Phillies for minor league outfielder Josue. I can't even pronounce his name. Josue Quinonez. I am butchering that horribly. Josueth.
Josue. I'm like, that's Josue.
Quinonez. Quinonez. I don't even think he's ranked because Matt Manning has been asked for a year.
Yeah, so the news earlier was that he was DFA'd in exchange for, I think, the Guardians reliever, but
not Finnegan, but
yeah, the other guy.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna pull up as well. We're gonna look up Mr. Josue later on. Forget that.
He probably don't even have a page. Let's be honest.
Do we go to the Guardians? You want to start with the Guardians guy?
Yeah, might as well.
Okay, what's his name? Sano?
I know Finnegan's from Washington.
Yeah. Yeah. Hold on. Yeah, the papers, Russell. Sewald.
Oh, Paul Sewald. Yeah.
Now, initially, I was actually pretty excited about that, but I should have known better. I'm like, how do we get this guy? I mean, this guy was a bona fide closer just 2 years ago. He had 34 saves, a 3.12 ERA. And obviously you can see that the red marks on the Savant page, if you're watching the visual side of things, are shaded as if, low sample size, and he's only pitching 18 games, which is
because he's on the IL.
He's on the IL. You said he was only available for a couple days, but he's pitched in 18 games this year, I guess.
I said since April, or May 29th, he was healthy for 10 days in that stretch, and then he went right back on the IL in July.
They must have used him a lot, but
yeah. Through May 29th, yeah, there's a good opportunity.
Another old man from the Guardian system. Isn't that where Cobb came from? The Guardians too?
Yeah, the previous year he did pitch because he pitched against us in playoff. Yeah. He was like his playoff start against us was either his second or third game of the year after major hip surgery.
Oh, you're talking about Cobb. I'm talking about Sewald.
Oh, Sewald? I couldn't tell you. I knew he was a Pirate for a while.
So
looks like he's bounced around. Yeah.
So he's been a closer.
Diamondbacks.
You look at the Diamondbacks. He 16 saves, 13 saves, and then 21-20. This was his best year right here in Seattle.
Yeah.
2.93 ERA, 21 saves.
Nice whip.
102 whip. But so this is a guy that obviously you got all those saves. This guy has a lot of experience, at least in the last 5 years, as a high leverage pitcher. A lot of swing and miss, a lot of high K rate, and he's dominating the strike zone, at least so far, at least in his sample size this year. The K rate and the walk rate is still, still pretty good in 2024.
Oh yeah,
and it was sexy back in 2023. But moral of the story: he's a high leverage pitcher. He's a guy that has had the role of saving games, and so I'm like, okay, we got a high. This is before we got Finnegan, so I'm like, okay, all right, this looks pretty good to me. He's inducing a lot of soft contact, not a lot of ground balls, which is not great, but at the same time, soft contact and a lot of swing and miss stuff, which is what we need. It's what we need in our bullpen anyways. I think that we have some strikeout artists in our starting pitching staff, but we don't have a lot of guys that get a lot of swing and miss in our bullpen, especially on the back end of our bullpen. And he gets it done mostly with the sweeper because I mean, you look at this fastball velocity. Jesus, his average is just barely above 90 miles per hour. So
Scooble can throw a changeup faster than that.
Yep. So I'm all excited, but then I realized I think Coach told me he's on the IL until September. I think we just put him on the 60.
Yeah, in order to make room for one of the other players we moved him from whatever 15-day IL to the 60-day. So September 10th, I think technically because of when he was first put on by Pittsburgh, September 10th would be the earliest he could be activated.
Yeah, so this guy is just insurance. I mean, he's got I'm assuming he's got some playoff experience. Let's look that up. Playoff. That's the other thing that we didn't talk about with Montero. Okay. Wow, it's not good. So 1-0 with an ERA of 8.10, 22 strikeouts, 5 saves, and 13 appearances in the postseason. So he's got a couple saves, but sometimes your ERA is high because you know,
13 appearances. I mean, 3 or 4 bad outings in that would be enough to put. I mean, maybe even 5. Honestly, 8's super high. So it was all in 1 year. He had a bad. Yeah, 3 1/3, 4 hits, 6 earned. Yeah, that'll do it. 8.16 ERA. Yeah.
So
5.4 is more along lines what you'd see for a postseason with 1 or 2 bad outings.
So not a lot of experience, but let's look at Montero. That was the one thing. I know he pitched a scoreless inning, which was part of a combined no-hitter in Houston during the World Series. Montero playoff stats. Because the one thing, so like I said earlier, we didn't go out and we missed out on Bednar. Who else did we miss out on?
Everyone.
Obviously, Clase and Griffin Jacks didn't get traded.
Just Duran,
Suarez from the Padres.
Ryan Helsley. Apparently, we were a front runner for him, and then the Mets came in with a much more, I guess, juicier offer and swooped him.
Got a comment in here. Tim Lyons, Seawald the Tiger. Yes, sir.
Yeah. A lot of unranked prospects or cash considerations going back the other way. We haven't really given up anyone of any substantial noteworthiness.
So, I mean, I think, like I said, these are players that raise your floor. They're not needle movers, but when we get to the last guy, I don't know. I think that I think all these guys bring legitimacy to a bullpen that doesn't have a lot of bullpen arms with extended success. Tyler Holton was amazing last year. He was also a former DFA person, a DFA pitcher. But he doesn't have an extended long period of time of success as a pitcher. Same thing with Will Vest. I don't know where he came from, but he's like an older pitcher. Chase Lee came out of nowhere this year. What veteran bullpen guys do we have on this team? We have a lot. We have a lot more now, but going into the trade deadline, who do we have that was a bona fide veteran bullpen guy?
Tommy Canley.
Canley. And Canley is shitting the proverbial bed right now. So at the start of the year you had Andrew Chafin, but that's purely based on age, not so much success in the playoffs. But those would have been the 2 game 1 of the year. But in the deadline right now, just Tommy Canley. So Lions says Seawald isn't a good choice for a reliever or a closer. His fastball is 90. Yeah, he's not your prototypical. He's not your prototypical closer, but it's not really about the fastball velocity if you're striking guys out. Maybe we already have learned that because Tommy Canley was our closer, and he obviously doesn't have a high velocity either. He's a change-up pitcher, but if you're getting swing and misses, if you're striking guys out, I don't know. But anyways, Seawald has closed in the past, but he won't have to close in Detroit. We have Will Vest, and we also have Kyle Finnegan. We also have Kyle Finnegan, who is a bona fide closer, who we're going to talk about last. He said I watched him. When he was a Mariner. Okay, he was he had a damn good year as a Mariner. I don't know if he was the primary closer, but he had a good ERA, and I think he saved like what 22 some.
Yeah. Actually, it's the same club that drafted Will Vest in 2017, the Mariners.
The Mariners, okay.
Yep, and made his debut in 2021.
Okay.
But just the 1 year. And then I think we got him as a Rule 5.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we find a way to get some guys. He said, y'all should have got Helsley, but I don't think you had the prospects to spend. Yeah, I mean, we do, but we don't. It's one of those things. We'll see next year, because if these prospects don't take off next year, we're gonna look real silly trying to hold on to them. Do you like the Reds? Do you like the Reds tonight? Who the Reds playing tonight? They got to be one of few. I know they played the Dodgers yesterday.
Not us.
Yeah. The Lions is Tim is a Cardinals guy, Reds guy. I can't remember. He was the primary closer. Okay, yeah. But talking about Rafael Montero's playoff career, he is 1-0 with a 2.51 ERA, 18 strikeouts, and 15 appearances. One of those years he actually played in the World Series. So I think they said it somewhere, but yeah, he had a scoreless 8th inning as a part of the it says earning a win in his first playoff appearance in 2022. He pitched a scoreless 8th inning in Game 4, contributing to a combined no-hitter. Do you remember that? I forget about the play. Stuff that happens in the playoffs, it's gone from my memory after in all sports. But Google said it, so I had to add it, right? 156 opponent at batting average. That's damn good. And that's a pretty decent sample size. You don't get a lot of appearances in playoff games. So he's definitely, battle tested. He's got playoff experience. But let's get to the final guy that we went after, the one that I'm the most excited about, because not only is a high leverage closer, but he's also healthy, which is important. All right. You love getting those old guys. All right. Kyle Finnegan, who was the closer for the Nationals last year. He was an all-star. Went 3-8 with a 3.68 ERA, 38 saves. Are there more? Who had the most saves last year?
It's a great question.
Because 38's a lot. 2024 saves leader. I mean, to you're not getting that many opportunities. Third
in the league.
Okay. Helsley.
Against. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Look at Emmanuel Clase last year.
Yeah.
So, so Kyle Finnegan, this was just last year. Not a courtesy pick for the closer. I think this was a deserved selection for him. But, 38 saves, 368. And this is for the lowly National. So, I don't know how many saves he blew.
You see who's number 9?
Oh, Jason Foley. Yeah, that's another guy.
Didn't even make the playoff roster. That's sad.
Yeah. And now he's hurt.
Yep.
So, but yet another guy, Jason Foley. I don't know what his career was like prior to Detroit, but another guy that doesn't have any long extended legitimacy. But now you got Finnegan, you got Montero, and then you got what's his name? I forgot it again. Sonoma. Sewald,
Paul Sewald. Yeah. Let's see. Going over his numbers with Washington, team that drafted him. His ERA plus up until this year, ironically, has been just above average. 100 is average. He's been anywhere between looks like a 110 last year, including 154 during his rookie year, which was the COVID year. So just slightly above average. He's a 91 ERA plus this year, so a little below average. Only 3 home runs allowed. Looks like 19 earned runs, 36 hits allowed in 39 innings to go with 14 walks. So a slightly high whip, 1.28. Looks like his strikeouts per 9 is lower. It's under 8 for the first time in his career. He had been between about 8.5 to 9.5. So not quite, a little better than 3-1, which is not terrible. 4-1 is more ideal. It's like, let's see here, trying to find some ground balls and fly ball ratios here.
This is last year. You talking about this year?
Just in general.
Okay.
Yeah, he has had tradition. He has had a high whip, 137, 148, almost 13, 133. So he will put some traffic on. Looks like he tends to work out of it. But yeah, so far his highest innings per year is about mid to high 60s, which he would be on track, I think, or close to hitting 60 this year.
All right. So when we look at a Savant page, Tim, when you talk about fastball velocity, definitely has some more velocity. Average is 96. When you talk about putting runners on, definitely the walk rate is something that he struggled with. But like you said, he tends to work out of it. Soft contact keeps the ball on the ground. The extension definitely helps that fastball play up even more, but not your prototypical strikeout guy, swing and miss guy. So that part of it is, doesn't bode well as far as high leverage, but yet and still, so in reality, you don't want to bring him into the game when there's runners already on, because he's not going to be able to get that swing and miss to get you out of the inning. He's going to want to be, he's a guy that can get you to ground into some double plays, but yeah, I like the high velocity. You can pair him well with Will Vest now. Now he can, I think that you can kind of, I think Will Vest has done enough to solidify himself as a closer. But now you have a more viable eighth inning guy, which was previously Tommy Kahnle, or Tyler Holton. So yeah, I think Finnegan slots right in as an eighth inning guy, but I'm not mad if he's closing. He saved 38 with the Nationals lecture, who probably only won 70 games last year. They haven't really been relevant since they got rid of Soto. So yeah,
I could see him being a nice little first guy out of the pen behind Skubal too. Like you said, he's a pitch to contact kind of guy, and Skubal is just going to go right after you. And I don't know too many closers or high leverage guys that have a splitter these days, which he throws 30% of the time. So if he can command that, I mean, that would be a nasty dynamic to his previous success. And he's got good splits on the speed variant. It's almost 10 miles an hour on the splitter to fastball, and it looked like almost 12 to 13 miles an hour from his slider to his four-seamer. So enough variance, kind of like what Tommy Kahnle, you can top out at 96, 97, and his changeup can go as low as, almost 80. So that's a big gap. So they use that deception to heighten their ability to get guys out. But yeah, following a power guy, I think he would probably be best suited coming in for, or even complimenting a soft left-hander before him out of the pen.
So yeah, he's got a 3-pitch mix, but he doesn't use the slider very often. But if you look at the batting average, the opponent batting average with the slider, it's a wonder why he doesn't use it more. I don't know, but yeah, it looks like the splitter gets beat up the most. It's got a 283 average, but it's probably the one that creates the ground balls, because it obviously has that diving action. So.
Because the movement between the slider and they're very individual. Four-seam obviously not moving. The splitter is going to bite down, and the sweeper or slider, you'll be able to pick up early enough and see that spinning, and obviously it's going to move more horizontally than vertically.
Right. All right. So all in all, we'll get to the other teams around the league and what they did. They made a lot more attractive moves, but what do you think? What are your overall thoughts? You want to throw out grades as far as hold on, let's get to All All right. Cards sold anyway that mattered. Anyone that mattered: Helsley, Fade, Matz, and another reliever.
Yep.
I don't even know those guys.
Eric Fede got traded last weekend, like middle of the night for the Braves, just because they were dropping starting pitchers left and right. He wasn't doing that. We saw him actually when we played him. He pitched against us.
And Maton was the other reliever. Cards threw in the towel. Okay, I forgot. That's who's Tim's team is.
Yeah.
And he was referencing the Braves versus Reds at the Speedway today.
Oh yeah. They already sold like 85,000 tickets for that game. It would be the most attended single game in history.
That's insane.
Yeah.
He said he ain't thrown 96 for the last 4 years. What are you talking about, Finnegan?
Yeah.
I
mean, they showed his average.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a career average. It's got to be a season average. But if it is, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, because I think they said I think it was a little faster last year. They said it was 97.2 last year.
Yeah.
97.3. That's his speed. Because it's actually been faster. So I can see it dropping down to a cool 96.2.
I'll take 96.
That age coming, yeah. Look, it's the stuff that Coach doesn't see when I'm on the other side. Yeah, Finnegan. Yeah. He's probably talking about Seawald.
Oh,
yeah. Seawald probably never threw anywhere near 90.
No, yeah, I was gonna say
if he dropped down to 90.
Yeah.
Okay.
Second TJ. But in terms of grades,
I forgot what I asked. Thank you.
I think there's one of two. There's two ways we look at this as Tiger fans. As the fan who wants us to understands, we can't waste this season and let it go for naught. I mean, it's pretty much ALCS Game 7 or win the damn thing and get to the World Series, and then we'll see what happens from there. Or what we did today, which we had feared talking offline the last day, that as more and more trades started coming off the board after the weekend series concluded, and then waking up this morning with the unfortunate news that, Eugenio Suarez was dealt to Seattle at the midnight hour, pretty much kind of signaled to me that Harris was not going to want to part with any of his prospects. And on the flip side, I get that, because if you anticipate not spending big money, aka not extending Skubal, then you pretty much have to hang on to these guys and let them develop, create more value, and then maybe swing a deal where you can get a guy that's on more friendlier terms and not some crazy 8-year, $400 million extension that we saw the last, 3 years of Miggy's career play out. Didn't look too pretty. So
you feel like he's foreshadowing the fact that, hey, we're not going to be spending no money. This is why we're holding on to this.
Well, I mean, this unlike the offseason, these trades impact now. They're already on a roll now. They're ready to win now. You do it in the offseason. The offseason this coming year will be the last chance Harris has to put something of meaning together. I don't mean 1-2 year Band-Aid deals. We're talking Riley Green, bag, Skubal, bag. Depending on what you do with Torkelson, you either look at pursuing Bregman again. I don't know what his AAV is going to be, but it certainly is going to be less than what he got this year in Boston at 30. So that's your starting point. And then from there, the only thing wild I could think of would be to go after Kyle Schwarber in the deadline, at the offseason. Problem is, though, he's going to command a shitload of money, obviously, but so far he's been worth it because he's been a perennial all-star, and the guy's cranking 35, 40 home runs a year and winning World Series.
35. He hasn't hit 35, 40 home runs in a minute now.
Kyle Schwarber?
Oh, you're talking about Schwarber?
Yeah.
Oh, he's talking about Bregman. Okay.
No.
All right, let's get a first break. And then I have a little more to talk about as far as the Tigers, and then we will talk about everything else going on. Yeah, we just rolling. We freestyling. It's different now, but I gotta stay on top of things. Matter of fact, let me write that down. All right. So one thing we've been super in depth with all the pitching, mostly bullpen. We've got a couple starters in the last couple of days, Paddock and Charlie Morton. But the one thing we did not address in the slightest was hitting.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Obviously, we were all in on Suarez. We talked about other names, but Suarez was who we wanted. He's the power bet. on the hot corner. He's a former Tiger. We talked about a couple of guys, but those were more so reaches. Those were just, okay, let's get another big bat in there. How do you feel about the offense? We saw the offense on Monday. And then we put up double digits the last two? No. We put up double digits on Tuesday, and then we beat Arizona yesterday, 7-2?
Yeah, we didn't score anything lower than 5 or 6 runs in any of the games in the series, so it was good to see consistency across the board, not 15-1 and then 1-3 loss, 2-5 loss. But yeah, I in looking at it, and I say it in hindsight because now we see what Seattle gave up for Suarez, right? It was a number 18 and number 20.
Didn't even know you were here.
Yeah, well, I'm behind the mic. What up, though? Yeah, we're live together in person, but yeah. Sorry, Tim. I don't think you saw the beginning of the intro. We're in the dungeon, aka my basement.
Yeah, his house actually. Yeah, Coach is definitely here. It's his house.
But honestly, Seattle gave up their number 18 and number 24 overall ranked prospect and an unranked prospect going back the other way. I would have made that deal in my sleep, partially paralyzed, drugged up, you name it. I would have done that in a heartbeat. Are you kidding me? Hell, I would have given him someone 12th or 13th even to make that deal with the no intent. If I was Scott Harris, to be like, all right, I'm going to go lock him up maybe 3 years. 3 more years. We know he's older. Shit, he's going to be 35 here soon. But the guy is producing at an all-star caliber still. And he, up until the hit by pitch the other night, the guy's been relatively healthy for the last few years of his career, at least.
And he's still healthy. Yeah. He only missed one game or something like that?
Monday and Tuesday. He didn't play Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, the last game.
He played in the day game Wednesday because that was a requirement by teams looking to trade for him, that he wasn't actually hurt. Even though he got a hit. Yeah, he played the whole game, but I think Scott Harris failed in that regard with Suarez. I don't think it was an overpay at all, and they have plenty of depth prospects outside the top 12 they could have traded. But honestly, disappointing. We couldn't even swing Nolan Arenado, who was also then, I think last night said, hey, go ahead and reopen some talk conversation for me. I just want to see where it goes. Of course, we all know from the offseason he had the no trade clause, which he nixed an original attempt by Detroit to acquire him. So I guess he's stuck in St. Louis for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I mean, so the Arenado thing would have moved you. That would have done something for you.
It would have been a nice depth piece. He has kind of struggled. His numbers aren't great this year, but it's kind of behooves me to think that fans will be out there. Well, I don't want him now. He's having a bad year. Well, you wanted him last year in spring training. We were talking about him, and he hadn't even reported. So I mean, that honestly, that's the only other option would have been just pretty much those two guys.
Because McMahon was gone,
and Brian Hayes can't hit worth a lick. So and if you're gonna get a third baseman, it's got to be a guy that's hitting. We've got good defensive players around the team. Yeah. You need a bat, and adding a bat at first base didn't really seem all that practical. Not like Torkelson can move over and play third, but it would have been a weird DH platoon situation. Because I know we talked about Cedric Mullins too, but that's the defensive position he would have taken up. And we didn't really talk about any other positions because I think everywhere else we're pretty much, full in, or we have enough depth with a platoon that it wasn't really worth trading for.
Yeah, I mean, I love as far as being a contact hitter, which is like, all right, that's not really what you're paying for in a guy like Nolan Arenado, but I mean, the whiff rate and K rate is beautiful. The defense, beautiful. Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to have a guy that, I don't know. It would be nice to have a guy that doesn't strike out as much as Torkelson, Kerry Carpenter, and Riley Green. Maybe not so much Kerry Carpenter, but Riley Green and Torkelson kind of take the cake as far as their K rate. So I don't know. I think that might have. We still got to find a third baseman of the future. I mean, granted, he's not a future guy, but he would be locked in for the next 2 years.
Arenado, yeah.
Can't be worse than
probably the end of his career. I mean, let's be blunt about it. Most likely.
Yeah. Let's look at his actual stats. Let's go to that.
Yeah.
He's got 10 home runs. Okay. Does it piss you off that they don't put the RBIs on the Savant page? Like, why? Like, that's kind of important. But
they like that. I'll pull it up for you here.
Yeah, 10 home runs, 235 average. So not a great average, which just lets you know how weak the contact must be. Because like, he's not swinging and missing, and he's not striking out at all. So it's like, where is he? Is he popping it up every time? Like
4 home runs, 18 RBIs, only 21 runs.
Oh yeah, his launch angle is a 7th percentile. So,
but he's also only played in 42 games, which is less than half the season so far.
Yeah, he's missed some considerable time, but he said but his Gold Glove shot.
Oh, that was first 40 something. All right, so yeah, he's got 10 home runs. That was his abbreviated version. 10 home runs, 43 RBIs, 43 runs, 39 strikeouts to 28 walks. So a 235 average with a 294 OBP. So
what is the OBP?
294.
That's pretty shitty.
Yeah, I mean 28 walks. I mean it's almost a 1-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. So I think if
that's cool, but he's obviously popping out a ton because what
yeah, I think he would have been a late inning defensive replacement, maybe a pinch hitter with runners on. If you go from a left-hand hitter to a right-hand hitter based on a pitching change, I think that's where you could have utilized him to a little bit more,
but that's a
higher leverage,
like Kinstry, though.
Right?
Like,
that's a problem. That's how big the drop was. When I say my opinion, my only 2 options at third base to get this trade deadline were either Eugenio Suarez, who's going to play every day, even if he's not in the field, he's going to DH because that bet is massive. Or 2, you go get Arenado as like a semi-bench depth guy to rely on his defense and maybe provide you with enough clutch hits late in games to make that I don't want to say next jump, but make them a little bit more lethal throughout the 26-man roster.
Yeah, and at the very least, he can sack. He's going to put the ball in play.
Yeah.
So he's not going to in those high leverage situations. I mean, I don't know what his splits are as far as runners in scoring position, but he's not going to strike out. You know that much. And when you look at his contract situation, he is not an unrestricted free agent until 2028, which is kind of the scary part because you got the rest of this year and 2 more full years that you're on the hook.
Yep.
Which kind of depends on how much. Kind of depends on how we know that Colorado is footing the bill for some of it to get them off their books. So. It depends on how much St. Louis would have been willing to, but
considering he'd retain his full no trade clause too, so if we wanted to move him, we would have to get his approval.
Yeah.
So
which maybe we could move him back to the West Coast. I mean, that's kind of what they were talking about, anyways, is that he wanted to go to the West Coast. So
what do you want to look about his splits real quick here?
Just runners on RISP.
Let's see here. I don't know if ESPN's got that.
Here
we go. Yeah. So with runners on and 174 at bats this year, he's got 42 hits, hitting 241, 7 doubles, 1 triple, 4 home runs. All majority of his RBIs are with runners on. 37. In those situations, he only has 16 walks to 20 strikeouts. That's not bad at all. 37 runs to go with those. 37 RBIs. 309 OBP, 362 slug, 671 OPS. So really not great.
That was runners on, right?
That was with runners on.
Okay, so what RISP?
Runners in scoring position. He's got 97 at bats, 22 hits, 30 RBIs, 27 runs, 5 doubles, a triple and home run to boot.
What's the average in OBP or OPS?
RISP average is actually low. Everything it's lower. Average is 227.
Okay,
but he's got a higher OBP at 325, a lower slug at 330, and a lower OPS at 654.
Okay, so not highly not super appealing, but
he actually slugs better with no one on. He slugs 369 with no one on. That's higher than any other runner position available.
Okay.
Leading off an inning, he's actually 247, and with runners in scoring position and 2 outs, he's actually hitting only 205.
Yeah, so yeah, he's not the clutch not the clutch guy that he may have used to be. So MSU Detroit fan has some thoughts on the third base situation, spinning Doy at third. Yes, that's kind of why the Arenado thing sounded appealing, especially because you don't really have any, Jace Young. It makes it survives to see another year. Malloy as well, because he just miraculously didn't play. He plays every single day in AAA, but he didn't play yesterday, so that's interesting. He says right now it's probably split between Andy Ibanez and Matt Vierling unless we want Colt to play third.
Colt will get a decent amount. He'll continue to play third.
Yeah, and Vierling has been better. I know I mentally traded him, but he has looked better as of late. He actually got a late inning. I don't think he saw any action, but he was a late inning ad at third base when Hinch was moving people to and fro. Like Jahmai Jones was in right field, Baez was in center, Vierling was at third. People were to and fro.
Yeah, and Baez will play some third too.
And he looked great in center that day game. What was that, yesterday?
Yeah.
Like, he looked supernatural out there. I know McKinstry can play third as well, but with Meadows back on IR, probably going to see him play short since Baez is back in the outfield. Yeah. Which is, I don't think we lose anything anywhere outside of the speed on the base pass from Meadows.
Yeah.
Realizing 3 of our starting pitchers are all on the IR. Yeah. So what?
Job, Olson.
What? Olson. Does Olson really? Oh no, I was thinking of Cobb. Yes, Job, Olson, and then who's third?
Cobb technically still is.
Cobb is.
I mean, you have more than that. I mean, starting pitchers.
Hopefully, Mize is okay because
that did not look good the other day.
Yeah, and they said that he was dealing with knee issues.
They thought someone suggested that it was his knee from a couple of weeks ago that he had been battling through, but he quickly dismissed that. He himself said, no, it's not my knee, just didn't have it. I mean, he threw almost 40 pitches in 1 2/3 innings, and all things considered, they needed a win. So, and Hinch made with the off day today, it was fairly reasonable. Like, all right, it'll be a bullpen day. Everyone gets a day off tomorrow. And really, less than 40 pitches, Mize barely broke a sweat other than seeing all the runners around him like a merry-go-round.
Yeah, I think he loaded the bases in 2 different.
Twice.
Yeah, that was not good. I don't know. We may look back at that second half and be like, this guy made the All-Star game. I mean, he started 9-2 or 8-2, but I don't know. I saw flashes of this last year too. Before he got hurt. So
yeah.
All right. Just Scooble and Flaherty left. Joe, Olson, Mize. Oh, he's saying that he considers Mize.
Oh, he hasn't been placed on. He's not expected to miss any time. I mean, if you want to count the bullpen, I mean, hell yeah. I mean, I think at any given point we have between 6 and 7 guys on the IL for pitching alone. But yeah.
Okay, so they don't say. Yeah, so they don't say anything about. They said he also has a game on June due to leg cramp.
Yeah. Put it this way: if he's hurt, they're gonna hold it back like they did with Job and Olson, and they'll wait for a move or acquisition to be made before they have to formally announce the corresponding move of someone going to IL. So,
I mean, as far as starting pitching, you got Paddock now. You got Melton, who. There's no reason to send him down. He can play every week. You got Montero, who you can bring up. Obviously, we don't have to worry about Manning doing anything because he's gonna watch him go crazy in Philly. I'm pulling for the guy. Why not?
1 of 1 bust.
Yeah. Was he
He was a 1 of 1.
He was a number 1 pick.
No 1 of 1.
Oh shit. Okay.
Kaka.
And then what was the other guy that I was thinking of? And then we got Morton now. I mean, Morton is going to be healthy. He's going to be able to play. Maybe that's why we went and got. Well, why else would we trade for 41-year-old Charlie? All right, see,
he's a coach teacher.
Yeah, we're all on the same.
Yeah,
the 2016 draft was a bust, and was he? Was it 7 years ago?
For who?
Manning.
Yeah. Because even though you get drafted,
it was time to give up on him soon anyway. So
yeah. I mean, you had to have known it when Faedo got dealt late last year,
Oh,
and then Mize was having a down year, and they were all relatively within like 2 years of each other being drafted. Like the writing, you kind of know is on the wall at that point. Like it's a matter of if, not when. So, and we knew it. Like Manning didn't do much last year, didn't do anything this spring to really wow you. Say that he had worked on it, and
he was borderline bad this year.
Oh, he was
last
terrible.
year. He got a couple spot starts with that extended. He's in the role that Montero was, where he was kind of going up and down, and then I think he got hurt. Either that or Montero just came in and kind of took away.
Hey, he threw that complete game shutout we went to against Colorado, and that was kind of like, all right, it was kind of the turning point for him.
Yeah, that was huge.
And he pitched, 3 innings against Cleveland and was respectable. I don't think he gave up a run. Came in when Reese Olson got knocked around early in game 1. Came in and held it down until they were able to do I think they got shut out in that game, but he didn't give up anything after Olson imploded early.
Yeah. So it's a junkyard dog.
Oh, man, it was ninth in the first round.
But
still
obviously very, he was, 6'5", he kind of, a pitching coach's dream as far as having a guy with that crazy extension. Faedo, who we talked about.
Yeah.
We talked about earlier. He's been hurt all year. Shoulder strain or shoulder inflammation. So he would have fit in real well with Deerling and Meadows and Olson, all those shoulder issues.
So we've now had a few guys this year and last year on the current roster who have spent some respectable time on the IL between Carpenter, Olson, Parker. Meadows is kind of getting back. No, he is. He's in that group between last year and this year. Kind of begs the question, are some of these guys going to be able to hold it together in the next year or two? Because, part of this run constitutes and relies on them being healthy.
Yeah, I mean, Olson, when you look at the last 2 years, he's pitched great. It kind of threw me back that Olson was had a sub-3 ERA, but he's also had 2 different stints on the IL. So it's like he's slowly kind of turning into a injury-prone guy that might have some value if somebody wants to take a chance on him. He's only 25 years old, so I'm sure the Tigers don't want to give up on him. But it's like, hey, does it make sense to just try to get what you can get? Hold on, see what these comments are.
Yeah.
Remember Bo Burrows?
Yeah.
Do you? I don't.
Yeah.
He was our 2015 pick. Wow. So a year before that. Wow. And Manning is still around, and he is where? He's got to be out of the league.
Who?
Bo Burrows, whoever that is. 2 picks later was Walker Buehler. Damn.
Bo Burrow was last year. Oh, no, he's talking about the starter. Yeah. I remember Bo Burrows. Was he like the same time? I'm asking him as MSU Detroit fan. Was he around the same time as like Steven Moya?
Oh God.
Yeah,
Probably.
another bust
Probably.
there. Bo Burrow.
Hold on, we're gonna take a break.
Right.
Take our last break or whatever. I don't know how long. We still haven't got to the other league, other parts of the league, but F them, right?
Yeah.
Figure out who it was.
So Bo was drafted first round, 22nd overall by Detroit in 2015.
So that was back when we were good.
Yeah, he's been out of baseball since 2024, and released this year by the Pirates.
Wow. I was gonna say I haven't heard of dudes.
Yeah.
We got to be out the league by now.
He's been off and on the last 3 years with the Twins, Braves, and Pirates, never playing in a full year. Bo Burrows, but yeah,
That's the MLB draft for you. It's not like NBA where it's like, all right, you're gonna get playing time out the gate because you're a first round pick. You may never see the light of day in a major league uniform. I mean, I'm sure he has, but it's baseball is wacky like that.
Oh, Moya was an undrafted free agent. Never mind.
Oh, was it? But he was like pretty highly touted, wasn't he?
He was undrafted free agent in 2008, made his debut in 2014.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why
Damn,
I thought he
we're old.
was. Yeah, he born in 91.
Oh, he's actually younger than
He's
that.
4 years younger than me.
All right, so I guess that we'll spend some time on everybody around the league what are your impressions? Well, we got some teams that we're obviously buying in as far as the AL is concerned: Seattle, Houston, the Yankees, Texas, Toronto. Um, how do you feel? I mean, pretty obvious how you feel in comparison, um, as far as how their moves compare to what we did. Although we had dire needs to get some bullpen arms. Hitting is questionable. We've had our moments. Kerry Carpenter came back. He's obviously, from what we've seen, provided some stability to the middle of the lineup, and the offense has immediately responded by everybody taking off. McKinstry's hitting. Ibanez is hitting. Seal which had a record like in there with Ty Cobb. What was it? A double, triple, and a stolen base or something like that. What was it?
Yeah. I think it was 3 hits with a stolen base, and 2 of them were extra base hits.
Right.
Yeah, he was one of 3 players, including Ty Cobb. So yeah, definitely the more modern Tiger to do it for sure.
Yeah, and it's funny because I said this when he started struggling. Is like he always flashes that that 5-tool player profile that makes you think he can be an everyday future Tiger, and then he'll go through those slumps to throw you off. But that game was case in point why you have those feelings about him. But pause. But yeah, everybody since Kerry Carpenter has come back, everybody has started hitting. Green is the mustache. Gleyber Torres hit an opposite field bomb the other day. It seems that we've turned things around. Everybody's having fun again, and so bullpen was the portion that was a necessity more so than the bets. Yes, we would have loved a what was it, Diaz, or what's the guy from Tampa Bay, Yanir?
Oh, Yanni Diaz.
Yeah, I think the fan base would have been excited. Like, okay, all right, this is a veteran, bona fide bat. Because once again, similar to our bullpen, we don't have hitters that have extended long periods of success outside of Gleyber Torres. Of course, Green is making a stamp for himself. Torkelson, this is his kind of first full year of pretty solid hitting. But other than that, you got a bunch of young guys. Perez was a rookie last year. Meadows, we still don't know. Vierling, he's a vet, but never been an everyday player until he got to Detroit. So Diaz would have brought that. So yeah, we addressed what was dire and important, but it probably pales in comparison, in your opinion, to what Seattle, Houston, New York, and Texas. What are your overall thoughts about what they did, and do you feel they've surpassed us in a race to the World Series?
I mean, as a whole, I mean, this, and we talked about before we went live, this has got to be one of the crazier deadlines, not even just the day of, but like even leading back to last weekend. We've had trades every day since Thursday or Friday last week, and really the last 48 hours, we've had a boatload. A lot of them more the names we expected to come off, and then all of a sudden you had a flurry of kind of like mid-level depth fill-ins along the way too. So, but in terms of the rest of the other teams that are divisional leaders who we'd consider contenders at this point, along with us, while I think I would have been as disappointed if some of the names on the bullpen side coming back were more proven high leverage guys, not these over the hill crypt keepers like Charlie Morton, who, by the grace of God, somehow didn't find himself out of the league before the deadline or All-Star break, considering how bad he was. Like even just getting a Bednar or, one of those names, I could have cared less if they had gotten the other 3 too. Been like, okay, we got a guy who's got the pedigree, he's got the talent. Okay, cool. We can any of those higher end relievers that win. Bednar, Ryan Helsley, Minnesota's pair of guys, Jackson and Johan Duran.
So you feel like it was more important to get the one hot name as opposed to getting the 4 that we got? We even got another guy. What's his name? That we didn't even really pull up.
That's how bad it is, people. When the names come in,
you see me racking my brain right now. There was another guy, but he's a AAA guy.
They already assigned him to Toledo. Yeah. I can't remember. I can't remember the name outside of that either. Like, that's how obscure these guys are.
Jeez.
That's what I mean. Like, one guy who has done it, and I could have cared less if they got the other three and been like, okay, cool. We got this dude, right? This dog. And we got three other guys that can help in and maybe show up due to injury, inabilities, inefficiencies, whatever you want to call it. But the bat would have been a thing that would have helped with games where if we're struggling to hit, but a guy like Skubal, a perfect case in point. Granted, Sunday night against Texas, we won that game late. Vierling hit an RBI single in the 9th or 8th inning to win it 2-1 after we gave up the 1-0 lead. But maybe he's got a 2-run lead or a 3-run lead instead of 1-0. And we can hold on to that a little bit better because of a guy like Suarez. And what that does for pitching matchups, too, out of the bullpen. It changes the way a manager has to approach how he's going to attack the hitter with his arms. But honestly, at this point, I'm just hoping these four guys all don't end up on the IL or DFA by the end of the regular season.
Yeah. I mean, we know Seawald's obviously on a 60-day, so we don't have to worry about that. He's already there. But yeah, Finnegan and Montero have been relatively healthy, so I'm not super concerned about that. I didn't find the minor league arm that I was thinking of, but would you like to take a gander on who picked up Mr. Carlos Hernandez, your favorite reliever this year?
Dodgers.
Cleveland. Hey, well, so we're guaranteed. So here's the one thing that I
Class A spot.
Yeah. Oh man, that's crazy. So yeah, he didn't have far to. He's a little bit more familiar with the Midwest. But one thing that I do know, the Twins are obviously selling. They moved Duran. They moved Carlos Correa. They moved what is his name? Harrison Bedard? What's his name?
Pirates closer?
No, Harrison, the outfielder for, I think his name is Harrison Bader.
Oh,
yeah, they moved Harrison Bader. I mean, they're selling off. I feel like that's what's going to help us. Hopefully, I don't know. You never know with these divisional games, but I feel like that's going to help us at least pad our stats with some games down the line, which can put us in a position to be a top team in the American League. As far as Minnesota is concerned, Cleveland as well. Who else? So did Quan not get moved?
No, as far as we know, Quan didn't get moved, although there were discussions heating up near the end of the deadline. But they largely had agreed, I think, internally that because of the whole Class A screw up and him being unavailable to trade, that it didn't make sense to sell off the rest of their bigger pieces. Not that I thought they were actually going to trade Jose Ramirez or Quan. I think Quan maybe was lukewarm at best. It would have taken a real overpay to allow Cleveland to give up on him, them knowing full well that Minnesota, well, like you said, was also fire sailing at the last minute. And the Royals made some moves really early about a week ago.
Nothing
but
crazy,
nothing today, just more depth help. And I think they're content on their young guys. And they're kind of in the same boat as Detroit is right now. They don't have too many veteran guys, Salvi Perez and a couple other maybe pitchers.
Not in the same boat as us.
No,
but they got some young.
But their core is young like ours for the most part.
They got Witt.
Yeah, so they're okay. They don't need to fire sale. They're right in the middle. Yeah, Jack Haglione. So they made some minor depth moves to help shore up, I think, some fielding positions. So, honestly, the bat was big for Detroit to get at the deadline, but I think the combination of all the trades, a lot of the teams that are near them or better than them right now, record-wise, in the AL and really the NL too, in my opinion, they made enough moves to really all make themselves legitimate World Series options, and Detroit just kind of barely went,
It's gonna come down. It's gonna come down to what the young guys, how the young guys perform on the offense, kind of on both sides of things, because the only guarantees, we still don't know what Flaherty is going to do down the line. He's been better as of late. Obviously, we're content and confident in Skubal, but outside of that, you're praying that Melton continues to be good, Paddock continues to be good, and that Morton's old age doesn't catch up with him. So I feel a lot better about about the bullpen. We'll see how things turn out with that. But hey, if Carpenter, I'm just at this point, I'm hoping that Carpenter is truly the impact that can push us over the edge. Because we do know that at the tail end of the year last year, he was one of the better power hitters in all of baseball. So if he hit a home run yesterday, he had a couple of extra base hits yesterday, but one of them was definitely a home run, and it seemed to ignite the lineup as a whole. So if we can continue to hit at that clip, that will help, couple with a more legitimized bullpen. We got to remember, early in the year, our bullpen was strong. Canley was on fire. Brebbia was a fail kind of from the very beginning. But Will Vest really hasn't had any terrible stretches. And I feel like we had some injuries along the line, because who else did we have? We had Herder, Gunther. I get all those guys mixed up. But all those guys were kind of like DFA guys, Yeah. They were really good for us, but they didn't have the long track record of it. So it didn't really surprise me when they started crashing and burning. So, but yeah, so as far as the notable moves, Seattle went out and got Josh Naylor a little early. They were the first one that took the first big swing, and then they doubled up. I don't know where they get all these prospects or why people were so generous to give away these top end bats, but they doubled back to Arizona and got Suarez. They're pretty much their two best hitters. I mean, Ketel Marte
and Corbin Carroll.
Corbin Carroll.
Yeah.
Which is crazy when you think about it. All those players were playing in Arizona. But,
James McCann.
Yeah, McCann. Yeah.
Bet 300 this year.
Is he? Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, they doubled back to Arizona, and got both those players, and they already had a pretty good offense as is. They already had Cal Riley and Rodriguez and Rosarena, and Crawford's having a better year. But yeah, I don't know that. But yeah, Seattle already had a pretty good team as is. So
yeah, it took us to the woodshed for 3.
Yeah, before Naylor or
Suarez.
Or Suarez. So,
and Josh Naylor kind of was a low-key mini Tiger killer. Not a huge one like J-Ram, but still a guy you don't want to see.
Yeah. So I don't think we'll have to see them again until the ALCS or whatever, because we already played them in Seattle once, and they obviously did us dirty in Detroit. So so yeah, we won't have to see them. So we'll see about that. But yeah, Houston went out and got Carlos Correa. Did they get anybody outside of that?
I can run through the list here real quick. There's not, and since the 6 o'clock hour here, other notable moves. Yankees got Camilo Doval from the Giants, their closer at the deadline, right at the 6 o'clock hour. That's a big move for them. All-star closer. Tampa got the other Twins reliever, Griffin Jacks.
Oh,
so they did trade for him. They also traded, or they got Taj Bradley in that deal coming back. Kansas City acquired Mike Yastrzemski from the Giants.
I missed some stuff.
Yeah, no, there's a lot still going on right now, believe it or not. White Sox got infielder Chris Meade, along with prospects Duncan DeVete and Benjamin Peoples from the Rays in the Hauser deal, which was before the end of the deadline. And a piggyback off the Correa news, Twins agreed to give the Astros $33 million to help cover his remaining $104. So they basically get him for 67% at that rate. So those were the bigger ones at just, technically after the end of the deadline, but were agreed in principle. But your other big ones was the Padres trading Mason Miller, or getting Mason Miller from the Athletics, and JP Sears. So they got some bullpen help, which they desperately needed. Yeah, and then Ryan Helsley, who allegedly we were in conversation with. This is the thing I've been annoyed with. How many times are we be in conversation with someone and nothing pan out?
Yeah, those posts are.
I hate that. It leads me to think that they're out there just shooting the shit. Like, oh, what'd you have for breakfast this morning?
This isn't about a trade. Hey, how about them Tigers?
Yeah. How much you sprinted the strip club last night, Bill? God, it annoys me. So, but yeah, there were a lot of names moved around, and to Foster's point, a lot of prospects. So we should see some reshaping of the minor league rankings in terms of organizations' total rank for minor leagues here come out in the next week or two as the dust settles on some of these. I'm sure one or two might get revoked due to some pending physicals, things like that. So more to come later on that. But this is definitely one of the busier trade deadlines. I don't know about you, but normally there's maybe a half dozen big name trades within the last hour of the deadline. Man, we've had a lot. I mean, that's even going back to the Devers trade, 4 weeks ago?
Which I really don't put into the conversation of like trade deadline. That was like a month ago or maybe longer than that. But I feel like a lot more pitchers than hitters, though.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, Suarez, like, especially when you take out Devers, who's obviously a big hitter, but Suarez was the big hitter. Naylor was a semi-big one, but yeah, a lot more pitchers, a lot of back end, high leverage type pitchers.
And I think that goes to the injury bug going around. Everyone focusing on spin rate and velocity, and you see the uptick in UCL injuries, and it makes sense. A lot of the guys, it looked like, I didn't say it in the last week or two, but it definitely felt like a lot of the higher end teams were after a lot of the same 2-3 positions. Whether it was pitching in general, starting reliever, don't think it matters, but middle infield and third base. Really saw nothing on first base, and I really saw no catchers get moved, really.
No, that guy with Jansen.
Yeah, it's just been traded 3 times in the last 2 years.
Right, so he's just got to get traded. But other than that, not a lot of
no Buster Posey getting dealt or anything like that.
No. Who did Texas get? They got a pitcher,
right? They got a starter. Who the hell did they get? Because it became known that DeGrom's on an innings limit this year, so he might not even be available for the playoffs.
Wow. That's crazy to think your limit would stop you from playing in the playoffs. Like, what is the point?
Well, I mean, Scuba last year, same boat, except he wasn't held out of the playoffs.
Right. That would have been devastating.
We just basically cock-blocked him from 5 or 6 extra starts down the stretch.
We didn't block him from a Cy Young, though, which is the most
true. Very true. Let's see, who the hell did the Rangers get? Oh, Merrill Kelly from the Diamondbacks. So the Diamondbacks really did fire sale.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I wonder if Zach Gallen get moved? That was the name.
He did not get moved.
Wow.
So pretty much everyone else but him.
He's having a bad year, though. So
yeah, and he's got a bloated contract. There were a lot of questions on how much Arizona would even be willing to offer to eat some of it just to get him out, and he's probably stuck there.
Toronto, they got Shane Bieber.
Shane Bieber, yep.
So,
and that offense is clicking in the last 30 days, and they're loaded.
Another team that took us to the woodshed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That was the scary part. That when you think about it, these are teams that before they made those moves, we're already cooking. Houston.
Yep.
I think New York is probably the lone team, because I think Texas. I think we struggle with Texas too, but
a little bit, yeah.
But New York is the lone team that I think we did all right.
Yeah, early on against the Yankees. Yeah, so we'll see. I think we got another series with them coming up, but yeah, I think that's why in the regular show we highlighted the other playoff caliber type teams that we were going to see. Like, all right, this is the measuring stick. Screw the division. That's in hand. There should be no reason that comes into play that you've got to, beat another team behind you down the stretch to clinch it. It's going to be against these teams like the Phillies, like the Yankees, like the Mets. So we all play coming up, and we're in Philly this weekend. So, for me, a good series, worst case, you just win 1 out of 2. Just don't get swept. Phillies obviously have a very potent offense. They have a couple. We're going to see two of their elite pitchers right now and this weekend, and Wheeler and their other ace, I think, Ranger Suarez, both having phenomenal years. So Scott Harris is rolling with his offensive guys as is. So let's see. Now they gotta put up or shut up because it's all gonna be on Harris now down the stretch.
Yeah. All right. So we are now into the last 50 game stretch. Let's see how it looks on here. Okay.
Yeah, a little over 50 games, something like that.
Y'all can see it. Can we see it enough to be able to know? Yeah. Okay. So you guys can see it. Let me pull the comment off, so that'll give you guys some more. There we go. So maybe now we can see it. Let's see. No. I'm getting it. All right.
Gotcha.
So they'll be able to see it as I scroll down. So we are into, well, this will help. This will help right here if I scroll it down.
I think we had 50 games as of Monday. So yeah, it's about north of 45 games left.
I thought it was 50. It was like 55 on Sunday.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we're about around in the 50.
Yeah.
50 game ballpark. So we're going into August 1st. This is what we got left. We got Philly. I just wanted to look at more so. I wanted to look at the divisional games, because I feel like we should clean up. Maybe KC. We got two more series with KC that are kind of back to back in August. They're probably the only team in the division other than us who's still trying to be competitive-ish. Because Cleveland, they didn't make us. I mean, they got rid of what's his name, Bieber.
I think their biggest loss is the fact that they can't even use Class A. He'll probably be unavailable the rest of the year.
Yeah, so we can call that as he's just good as traded as far as they can't use him.
Exactly.
And then you said Luis Ortiz too, or what's his name? Is that his name? Ortiz? There was another guy on the Guardians that was also under investigation, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, Luis Ortiz, reliever. Yeah. No, I think at the time when we recorded Wednesday, we had 55 games with 25 against the division and 30 coming outside, so a fairly even mix. Okay. Twins were 7, KC, Chicago, and Cleveland, all 2-3 game series remaining against them.
So yeah, I think that we should be able to clean up within our division. We got Minnesota coming up at home after Philly.
Mm-hmm.
And then got the Angels in town, and then we got Chicago, who gave us some problems. We got Chicago, and then we got Minnesota again. So it's pretty.
It's a balanced mix.
Yeah,
you got some really good
repeat though. Like you got Minnesota, LA, and then back to Minnesota pretty soon right after, and then the same thing with KC. You got KC, you got Athletics, and then back to KC.
Yeah.
But as far as interesting ones left, you got the Mets,
mm-hmm.
you got the Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
September is kind of could be a kind of a rough stretch depending on how Cleveland's playing. You got Atlanta in there. Atlanta's not having a great year, but they got talent though. Hey, they got some good players. Sale's still there. Is he hurt or is he playing?
He's on the 60-day right now because he broke his ribs diving for a pop-up in the infield, but I don't think he'll be available until I think later August, maybe even early September.
Okay. Well, we play on September 19th, so
yeah,
that's later in the year. And then we close out at Cleveland and at Boston. Boston, I would venture to say, is probably going to be tough down the stretch. So
yeah, of course, the playoff picture might be more crystallized by that point. They could be already eliminated. Knock on wood, which would make it a little bit easier for us. But yeah.
So we already looked at the strength of schedules through Tankathon, and we were actually had one of the weaker schedules down the stretch. So So I'll take their word for it and say that we shouldn't that at least by the winning percentages. We have a pretty easy schedule, although we did get swept by the Pittsburgh Pirates. Water on the bridge. Let's see what MSU Detroit fan said. He said, "I know the first." Oh, this is old. Yeah, talking about the draft picks and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, if we finish with the best record, we likely will not have the best record in baseball. I don't think we made enough moves to justify that. But is there no chance right now that we could have the best record in the AL? Because that's at this point, this is what I'm leaning on, is that, hey, we do have a lot of some sellers in our division that we should in theory be able to beat up on, that will help our overall record. But what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's going to be close. I think the benefit of having the weaker schedule, being arguably one of the two weaker divisions in baseball, helps obviously in that regard on paper. But to your point about the Pirates, although they're not in the AL Central, you still have to play the games. And,
Sure.
Coming out of the All-Star game break, they dropped the series to Texas, got swept by Toronto. So two teams that are squarely in playoff positions right now after the break, we are 1-5 against. So that's not a good look. Actually, no, we are 1-5. So those series against Philly, Houston, both New York teams, and then to a degree, like you said, Boston could be in it down the stretch. Those are all measuring stick series to see how we stack up against potentially some of those teams going into the playoffs. So Yankees more than likely and Astros more than likely to see. And if you really want to go back to the weekend before the break, we got swept by Seattle. So we are 1-8 against three other divisional and or strong wild card leading teams in the last 3 weeks. So that's got to change going forward if we really do believe this team can get to a World Series, let alone getting to and winning the ALCS.
All right, so when we look at the standings, well, this isn't the standings. This is just right now the top teams in the American League. Wow, so we don't have the highest run differential. That would go to the New York Yankees. But we have the second highest, right?
Second or third.
Gotta be.
And
we got 81.
League, yeah.
Yeah. So, but overall, we technically have the best record in the American League at this very moment, but it's close. You got a lot, like we talked about, the teams that are buying at the deadline right now. Toronto, who we just saw. Houston, who plays us tough, and then the Yankees are 3.5 games back. So that's where we fare in the American League. So not certainly the sweeping of Arizona helped our the way things look right now, because they didn't look so good going into that Toronto series, or certainly after the Toronto series. Let's look at the major leagues, because that would determine what home field advantage in the World Series.
Unless they change it, the All-Star game used to determine who had.
I think that was
got rid of. Then it should be overall.
All right, so I guess based on if we had the most, we're tied for the most wins in the major leagues, but I guess due to the amount of losses that we have one more loss than Chicago, the Brewers.
Yeah,
they have the best record in baseball,
and they low-key haven't. They really didn't. As far as I'm concerned, I don't recall them making a really big move at the deadline, which is nuts.
They never do, though. I feel like they're not they're kind of a small market team that never makes that big move.
They'll make one trade usually, maybe, but that's about it. Like you said, nothing earth-shattering that's gonna all of a sudden increase their payroll by 25%.
Yeah.
But low-key, they've had good pitching for years now. Yeah. They've had good bullpen. That's how they win a lot of the regular season games. People always forget, it's always been the Cardinals and the Cubs, World Series not all that long ago. Now they're good again. They're really good. Craig Counsell leaving Milwaukee to go to Chicago to manage. Milwaukee low-key has held that division down probably since the end of the Yadier Molina and Albert Pujols days in Seattle, or not Seattle, St. Louis.
Yeah. So they got a couple arms at the deadline. Shelby Miller was a name for you. So yet another pitcher that another player that the Diamondbacks have gotten rid of. Although, he pitched for us last year and was also not on our playoff roster. So the screen was probably blocked for the standings part. But yeah, so they went out and got Shelby Miller, and then they also got Jordan Montgomery.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
was he on Arizona too?
Diamondbacks as well. Yeah,
yeah. So the Diamondbacks, they ought to have a they ought to be rich in prospects at this point. Suarez, not that they would have traded there's a whole lot to trade for to get Shelby Miller because he wasn't even on our playoff roster, right?
No.
Actually, I think he got cut. He didn't get cut, or some happened.
Either that, or they took him off the 26 and just left him off.
He was non-existent. But so Montgomery, Miller, Naylor, Suarez. Is that it from Arizona?
Zach Merrill or Merrill
Kelly
Merrill. Sorry.
Yeah,
a lot of players. Lots of players off their 26 man.
Yeah. So they're gonna be rough to watch in Arizona. So I feel for y'all, but hey, maybe they'll sell and play good like the Tigers did. Probably not, but
not that many players.
So, anything else you want to touch on before we get up out of here? It's been an hour and a half. This is perfect. The Lions are about to come on. I'll probably hop on live later at some point to this is a sore subject for Coach. He is not a Lions fan in the slightest. But yeah, we got preseason football to talk about. So I'm sure June will want to hop on the show, and recap. But yeah, anything else you want to talk about before we get up out of here?
I just you hope Alex Lang can come back soon and also be a contributor and show that he's still got some stuff to provide in a positive way going forward, and hopefully maybe into the playoffs too. And like you said, the offense, Kerry Carpenter stays healthy. If and when Parker Meadows does come back and they keep him, I think he's going to be a key piece with the bat, especially. We know what he brings offensively and on the base paths, but we also know what he's capable of doing with the bat. And if he's able to even give us 250, 260 down the stretch heading into the playoffs, that's respectable. Throw him down there in the 9 spot. High K rate. So I kind of leery about him leading off. We've talked about some other potential experiments you could use, including I think Wenceel Perez could end up, leading off. I know he's got some power, but I mean, he's got speed, he's got gap power, he's line to line, and it'd be interesting to see. But I don't really think that Hinch is gonna, maneuver his lineup that much. But yeah, guys staying healthy, you get some guys back. And hopefully Charlie Morton doesn't break an ankle going up the steps.
Oh my God, that's crazy. Yeah, Perez. Yeah. I'm not opposed. I feel like he doesn't lead off very much. I don't know.
I don't think he ever has. At least not this year.
I don't know if it's because of his whiff or.
He definitely is a little aggressive.
Chase, yeah,
and that's why he had his regression up until the past 3 or 4 days.
Doesn't walk a lot.
Yeah. But I think I would want to say it's a problem. This mentality of the offense going back to last year, especially this year, first pitch, be aggressive, going after it. If it looks like it's what I want, I'm swinging. So I really don't know if a lot of these guys are naturally that aggressive all the time. Right. I feel like they aren't too much. Colt Parker, maybe a different story. Torkelson on and off has been a chase guy, been a lot better this year in terms of that. We've seen that in the walk rate, but yeah. Stay healthy, get some guys back, and see what happens. But I think my focus will be on the other playoff teams and how they do. Because if they start slipping in the division, it really makes you question how they're going to survive a 5 or 7 game series after, if they were to hold a bye after the wild card round.
So we'll see. This is the conclusion of the trade deadline show. We promise you we will give a live reaction. We actually started the show after most of the trades because we had to work and all that. We didn't have couldn't sit around, but yeah, I think that we pretty much in as much depth as we could kind of broke down what the Tigers did, and we will see how things progress in the near future. But yeah, we'll be back on what day is it? Thursday? So yeah, I guess we'll be back on Sunday. And we will be recapping we talked about Arizona pretty good, but
yeah, the Philly series this weekend, and it's Sunday Night Baseball too.
Okay.
So I think we touched on it briefly. I mean, now that all this has happened, the probables have changed a little bit, and now Philly is going to get our 2 best, arguably not counting Mize, Flaherty will start Friday night against Ranger Suarez. And then Saturday, late afternoon, 4:05, School will be going against Zach Wheeler, 2 front-runner Cy Young candidates. And Sunday looks like it will be a pitching chaos day, or it could be a combo of Charlie Morton pitching against Sanchez for the weekend series.
Right? Maybe? Or what does it say?
It's TBD. It's blank.
Oh, TBD.
But it could be Melton technically. That'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like almost 6 days off for him. So Melton could be slotted in there because right now they don't have him probable again until Saturday, August 9th.
Okay.
So
that's...
yeah, I think formally that will probably be him or Morton. One of the two would be my guess.
So you guys will get it, and I'm sure we'll get into the bullpen and get a chance to see some of the new additions, Montero and Finnegan. I'm excited about Finnegan. This guy was a all-star closer last year, 38 saves. Hey, Will Vest, Montero, maybe Canley wakes up out of his, I don't know. I don't really have a lot of faith in Canley right now, but yeah. Subscribe to Bleachers to Speakers on YouTube. If you want to see the raw and uncut visuals, we're getting more and more technologically sound and sharing screens and showing you the Savant pages that we swear by. I probably, look at more Savant pages than I look at anything on the internet. But yeah, but also subscribe to Corner to Copa on all audio aggregators. You can just Google Corner to Copa, it'll come up. You can just Google Bleachers to Speakers, it'll come up. Trust me, I know I had people get on their phone, Google it, and see what comes up, and they're like, "Oh, that's you. Oh, this is real. Yeah, it's real. It's real." So, but yeah, we'll be back on Sunday.
Follow your boy on Fans First. This guy's pumping out great articles. Yeah. I'm slacking. Check him out on Fan First for some written pieces. We're gonna put some more stuff out too going forward. But Foster's done a great job in the last week or two putting out some good content. So go give him a follow on his articles as well.
Yeah, FFSN Lions, FFSN Tigers, Michigan State basketball, all of that. You will see written content from us as well. So we out here.
Peace.